Carrie. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that you are joining. I had a question earlier in the chat from Letitia about, will you receive a copy of this presentation? And yes, you will. In that bit.ly, you are going to find the presentation and all of the resources that you're going to need. So again, I will share that later as well, but you can see that there on the screen. So let's get started. My name is Tisha Richmond, and I am a Canva Learning Consultant. I have been a Canva Learning Consultant for about a year and a half. I've been in education over 25 years, most of those years as a culinary arts and interior design teacher at the high school level in career and technical education. Also moved into a role in my district as a tech integration specialist, and I've also been a student engagement and professional development specialist. I've been kind of juggling both roles this past year, working in my district and also working for Canva. I also am a content creator, so I create templates for the Canva for Education library, and I am also the author of Make Learning Magical, a book I wrote back in 2018 about how we can transform our teaching and create unforgettable learning experiences in the classroom, which is why I love Canva so much. Is it's one of those platforms that really allow us to create magic in our classroom environment and bring joy into teaching and learning and really empower our learners. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you everybody for sharing in the chat who you are and where you are coming from. I shared a bit.ly link at the beginning. You'll see it right here on the bottom right of our screen. That is where you're going to be able to find some resources. So the presentation deck is there, as well as a couple different resources that we will be accessing throughout the presentation. I also have a participant guidebook, which is just going to give you additional resources to help you kind of go away from this session with even more to dive into. And there also is some teacher resources there as well. All of my contact information is here. So if you want to follow up with me after the session, please do. Always like to connect and support however I can on the teaching and learning side. So before we get started, I'd love to get a kind of gauge of where everybody is with your familiarity with Canva. So if this is a brand new, maybe not even ever opened Canva before, I would consider yourself a 1. If you maybe have played around a little bit, but really haven't designed much, I would say you're a 2. If you've been designing and are pretty familiar, I'd give yourself a 3. And if you're using it on the daily, either for yourself or in your classroom, I would say you are a 4 or a 5. Fantastic. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat. We have lots of 1s and 2s. We have a couple 3s and 4s. This is really helpful. I always tell people that as I'm presenting, there are people that might be using Canva that are 3s already and might already have some great tips and tricks that you want to share with your colleagues. So please do. If you want to share things in the chat as I'm sharing, we are better together. I'm a firm believer in that. So definitely share the learning. And this is really helpful for me because it really helps me to know where everybody is at. So I shared the resources already. They are in that one pager bit.ly that I gave you. This is going to be our agenda for the day. We are going to dive into what Canva for Education is. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about Canva's really goal in reaching K-12 students and really being able to help empower everyone through creation. I'm also going to share with you some ideas of what you can do in Canva, because I think sometimes we might kind of have heard, okay, I think you can do this or that, but maybe not have a real full scope of all that is possible. So I'm going to share with you some of those ideas. And then we are going to go into the homepage. We're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of what that homepage looks like and how you can navigate. And then we're going to dive into the Canva editor, and I'm going to give you the basics for getting started. So what you need to know to start designing. If you join us for the afternoon session, that is going to be more of the Canva editor deep dive, where I'm going to go through all of the things, all of the features, and give you a real in-depth look at the editor a little bit more closely. And then we're going to end by spending a little bit of time in the template library and then having closing Q&A. The hour is going to go fast, but I hope you come away excited about using Canva for Education. So to begin with, what is Canva for Education? Canva for Education is an all-in-one visual communications platform. So just about anything that you can possibly think about creating digitally, you're going to be able to create in Canva. Canva has what they call the visual suite. And in the visual suite, you have docs, whiteboards, presentations. You can create social media posts. There are videos that you can create. You can create print products. There are even websites and so much more. And so really the visual suite is for everyone in your school, students, educators, administrators, everywhere, and everyone in between. Everybody will find ways that they can use Canva in their educational role. So the way that assignments work in Canva is we have some LMS integrations. And so whatever your workflow is, you should be able to use that with Canva. And I love that because they really create that seamless LMS integration. If you don't have a workflow, then you can use Canva's workflow. There is an assignment feature within Canva, but we always recommend that whatever workflow you are using in your district, in your school, that is the one that you should continue using with Canva. So I get this question a lot, why is Canva for Education free? And Canva believes that education is a human right, and they really want to empower everyone to create, collaborate, and communicate not only in the classroom, but beyond. And if you are using Canva already, and maybe you are that 3, you can share in the chat why you think Canva maybe is different from other platforms. But here at Canva, what we think is that the skills that students are learning in Canva are going to transcend that K-12 landscape. Walt Disney is using Canva. Amazon is using Canva. Many large corporations and businesses are using Canva. Small businesses, nonprofits are using Canva. So when we bring our students into the Canva platform in our classrooms, they are learning a platform that they're going to see out in the workforce. So we are really providing them skills that are going to go beyond that K-12 experience, which I think is really, really powerful. And in addition, we are helping foster timeless skills. So students are learning how to be adaptable. They're learning how to communicate, create, collaborate. They're learning how to be entrepreneurs. They're learning those lifelong skills. And so again, we are really helping provide those skills that they're going to need beyond the K-12 experience. So I'm going to share this little video about what others are saying about Canva.
I don't hear the audio coming in on my end, Tisha.
Oh, you can't hear. Okay.
Sometimes, so if you do a stop share and then you reshare it, it likes you to talk. Teams likes you to toggle the sound on.
Okay.
And it doesn't keep it per time. It likes to have a.
Okay, let's do this again here. Oh, share a tab audio. It's on. Okay, well, we'll see. If it doesn't go this time, we'll just skip over the video.
Okay.
See if this working? No?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. My tab on the audio is turned on, so it might be something because I'm outside of the district. So we'll just move on. It's okay. Canva's awesome, and other districts around the US, actually around the world, are using Canva, and they're finding that it really is a tool that empowers students in some really, really powerful ways. I'll share this presentation with you so you'll be able to play that presentation back when you look at the video. So let's talk about what you can do in Canva. There are so many things that you can do, and I like to start with the teacher resources because I think that that's a really great entry point. You may not be ready to bring it into the classroom, but you can start thinking about ways that you can bring it into your teaching. And so the presentation that I'm giving you right now was created in Canva, and I'm presenting in Canva. There are some really cool features in Canva and that we can use during presentations. Like I can pop confetti, or if I need to blur the screen again for a moment, I can blur the screen. I can even do a drum roll. I can do a mic drop. And another really useful tip is I can actually add timers throughout my presentation. So if I wanted my students to turn and talk, or I wanted them to do an activity and then come back, I can use those timers by simply clicking on the screen on my computer. I also have a remote control capability where I can advance these slides from my phone. And I also can use those magic shortcuts, throw confetti right from my phone as well. I love that you can create videos in Canva. I've been using Canva since 2014, and I sure wish when I was using it at the very beginning with my students in my culinary classroom that videos were around, because the video features are really amazing and very intuitive for kids of all ages. I've been working in my own district. Kids in 3rd grade have been creating videos, and they're amazing and really incredible what students really can do when we give them that opportunity to create. But videos are one of those languages that our students are speaking. They are on TikTok, they're on Instagram Reel, they're on YouTube, they're learning outside of our classrooms, they're consuming content in that format, and they're creating content in that format. So when we can create videos in a format that they're already engaging in, it's going to be so much more powerful for our students. We also can create those bite-sized learning chunks. And so again, when students are on YouTube, when they're on TikTok, when they're on Instagram Reel, they're getting those bite-sized learning chunks. And so thinking about ways that we can bring that to our students in our classrooms as well. And then posters. If you are already putting posters in your classroom, maybe you're ordering posters from other sources, you can actually create your own that is really going to match the theme of your class, exact content that you want to share. And you could have that sent to your publications department if that is an option in your district, or you can have it printed right through Canva's print shop. I also love that there are lots of activities that you can create in Canva, worksheets, flashcards, newsletters. If you are gamifying your classroom, you can actually create badges in Canva using the flashcard templates. I gamified my culinary arts classroom, and I used the templates to create all sorts of different badges for my students. I also think the class newsletter feature is amazing. So if you are sending newsletters home on a biweekly, monthly basis, whatever that might be, you can create a template and then just keep copying that template and using it over and over, and you will have a whole collection of newsletters throughout the year that you can share with your parents via a link. And there's lots and lots of options to choose from. Also, classroom collaboration. You can have a whiteboard similar to if you've ever been on Google and used Jamboard, very similar to Jamboard, where you are going to have an opportunity to bring in up to 50 people for collaboration, brainstorming, mind mapping, KWL charts, so many different ways that you can leverage those whiteboards. Also, graphic organizers, storybooks, group work, any design in Canva you can bring up to 50 people into. And so lots and lots of opportunities for that classroom collaboration. You can even do some really innovative things like create game presentations. There's awesome trivia quizzes, memory games, this or that. And they come with the directions in Canva if you search game presentations in the Canva library, storyboarding, group projects. And then capturing student learning. I think about having students curate their work throughout the semester, throughout the school year, whatever grade level or subject area that might be. You can actually create a website portfolio where students can capture that learning. We can also have students create infographics to be able to really synthesize what they're learning about and be able to demonstrate that in an infographic form. Documentary videos, digital notebooks, whether that is having students keep a digital notebook for journaling or executive functioning. Maybe you have them keep their planner or their habit tracker or their goal setting in a digital notebook. That is all possible as well. And then I mentioned before having teachers create videos for bite-sized learning, but how about our students create the videos? How about they create a video to explain what they've learned or to demonstrate a specific skill or a method, or have them create the posters for the class? Have them create a poster to demonstrate what they are learning. I had some, I think it was 3rd or 4th, I can't remember which grade learns about magnets, but whatever grade that is, they created posters about what they learned about magnets. And then they had them printed in our publications department and hung in the halls of their school. And they were so proud of these posters that they created, and they were absolutely amazing. And so again, we can empower our students in so many ways in the classroom. Here is just a list of some of the other things that can be created in Canva. I would love for you all just to kind of take a glance at this list And in the chat, just maybe share something that stands out to you that you're like, oh, I didn't know I could create that in Canva, and something that maybe you want to search and create yourself.
And if you see it on your end, for the participants, there's a little plus and minus on her screen that she's sharing. So you can zoom in on Tisha's screen if that's something that you are looking for, like trying to get it a little bigger. It's
Yes, thank
big.
you. That's a good trick. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So one of the things that there's lots of things that stand out to me. Comic strips. Comic strips are super fun to create in Canva. They have some awesome templates. I have seen people use a resume for not just creating a resume for like a job, but actually taking a resume and using that template to have students share about a historical figure or a character in a novel. And not only are students then having to really synthesize and really think about what's the most important information that I would share in this resume on this historical figure or character, but also they are learning the skills to write their own resumes. And so I think we can leverage Canva in some really creative and powerful ways as well. Yes, Andrea, the seating chart. I love that. And I think that would be a great thing to think about as you are going to be planning for another year, is to think about creating that seating chart in Canva. There really is so much opportunity with Canva. Truly anything is possible. So we are going to take a homepage walkthrough, and I'm going to then share with you some Canva editor basics. And if you have not logged into Canva before, and Carrie, I will have you jump in because every district does the rostering a little bit different. So you are able to go to canva.com and typically log in with your school email, but you probably have do you have a class link or something that you click on?
In SAISD, we use ClassLink, and the students are all rostered to the campus.
Perfect. So you should be able to access Canva from your ClassLink. So if you would like to, if you have a dual screen situation and you want to go to Canva right now and have that up on one screen and then watch my presentation or my screen on the other, that's great. Again, everybody learns differently. So if you just want to watch me, that is entirely fine too. I want to kind of meet you where you are at. So I'm going to back out of the presentation and I am going to go to my home screen. And I'm going to kind of show you what it looks like when you go into Canva. Everybody should be seeing a screen that looks very similar to this. And I wanted to show you some parts of this homepage to get you started. I'm not going to go through all of the details, but I want to show you the basics. First of all, at the very top here, where it says education, you're going to find lots of teacher resources. So you can see here, we have free teacher resources. There's information on the LMS integrations. There's information for students. So just be aware that those are all up here. And there also are some more different resources up here under Learn. So I always like to point that out because sometimes we forget to look up here on the top. I also want to share with you that projects is where everything that you create is going to live. You do not have to push save in Canva. Everything saves automatically. So anytime that you open up a design, it is going to drop in here into your projects. And you're going to notice at the top that I am going to be able to sort by who created it. I'm going to be able to sort by category and what it is that I created. And I'm even going to be able to sort by when it was modified. So it's a really easy way to find what you want. Also notice that I can search by folders, designs, brand templates, images, or videos. So I can really isolate exactly what I am looking for. Over on the right, I have an opportunity also to sort alphabetically, oldest, newest, or most relevant. And I can change from grid view to list view, depending on the way that I like to search. Now, I think a great entry point for a lot of people is to take something that you've already created. Maybe it's a tried and true activity, a tried and true handout that you've used over the years, and you just want to make it a little bit more visually engaging. Maybe make it a little bit more updated. You can go over here on the top right where it says add new. And I am going to be able to upload something from my computer. And I also can import from one of these 3 apps. And so that way, what will happen, let's say you have an activity on your computer or in your Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox that you want to maybe change the font on, or maybe you want to add some images on, or maybe you just want to edit it entirely. You're going to be able to upload it in, and all of the fields on that activity sheet is going to be editable, and you're going to be able to bring in graphics from Canva. You're going to be able to change font colors and really be able to make it more visually engaging and without having to start from scratch. And so I think that that's a really great place to start for a lot of people. I also want to show you that when I am clicking on anything, so let's say I click on this presentation that I'm giving you now, there are 3 little dots. I can make copies of things. So if I want to make a duplicate, I can easily do that. I can easily move something to a folder. I can download it. I can share it. I can get a view only link so that somebody won't be able to edit it, but they can see it. And I can even copy to another team or move it to the trash. So I have all of these choices here when I am clicked on anything within that in the projects that I'm creating. So just know that anything you create in Canva is going to live in projects, and you can organize those however you want to, whatever makes sense to you. All right, and please, if you have questions about anything that I share, please put that in the chat. It's always good to make sure that I get all of your questions answered. You'll also notice over on the left-hand side is kind of my arrangement of my folders that helps you to kind of keep things organized as well. Now, when you are ready to start designing in Canva, you have 2 options. You can either search for something that you want to create here in the template search bar, or you can just simply go up to create a design. It's going to ask you what kind of a doc type you want to create. It's even going to ask you if you want to import something. So that would be where you would maybe import a file from your computer, or if you want a custom size dimension. And custom size is really helpful. Let's say you wanted to create a heading for another platform. You wanted to create a dimension that was just a perfect size. You can go in here and you can click custom size and pick the exact size that you want to create. And so there is no end to what you can create in Canva, because it allows you to customize your size and create anything that you possibly want to. The last thing that I want to show you on this homepage is up here on the top is an account setting. And I think one of the things that I just like to point out is that there are some situations where you need to change the language of Canva. You are able to change that language here. So I like to point that out. Also, you are going to be able to create classes or groups if you wanted to, let's say, create a group for a grade level team. Maybe you wanted to create a class, or you don't have a learning management system of your own and you wanted to create your own classes. That can be done too. But I believe that you are all using Canvas. Is that correct, Carrie?
Yes, Canvas is our LMS.
Perfect. And so I would highly suggest you use Canvas. I am a user of Canvas in my own district. I rolled it out for an entire district K-12. And so I'm very familiar with Canvas and Canva integration, and it's really pretty streamlined and awesome. And so you will be able to create an assignment in Canvas, be able to attach a copy of or a template link for a creation in Canva. You're going to be able to have students create that, turn it back in. It's going to go into your speed grader and right into your grade book. So that integration really is pretty amazing and seamless. So I am going to jump into a design. I'm just checking the chat and making sure no questions are coming through.
We're doing good. There was a question
okay.
I saved. Let me see. From Betty Martinez. It said, she asked, what is a mobile first presentation? So when you shared that slide with all the ideas and things that you can do with Canva?
I believe that a mobile first is a presentation that is going to be read easily on a mobile device, like on a phone. So the format is like phone ready.
And
Okay.
a question about integrating into Canvas. Yes.
Yes, Canvas and Canva are integrate. I don't know if your setup is set up yet, but it does have that integration, and it is a really great streamlined workflow. I highly recommend if you have Canvas to go with that workflow in your classroom. Yes. Okay. Amazing. Well, I'm going to jump into now this design. So this is created as a presentation design, and I am going to just kind of show you how to navigate when you are in the design editor, because no matter what kind of doc type you are in, whether that's a presentation or an infographic or um, website, all of these features look very similar. Some are slightly different. For instance, a video has slightly different features, a whiteboard has slightly different features, but overall, the way that it's laid out is exactly the same. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you what the features are, and then in just a moment, I'm going to bring you in and you're all going to play a little bit and be able to try the things too. So the main things that I am going to share with you today is I just want to share with you elements, uploads, and text. Elements is really where a lot of the content is going to live. There's lots and lots that you can do in elements. So when I look on my sidebar right here and I click on that second tab down, I am going to be able to search elements in categories. So there are lines and shapes, there are graphics, there's stickers, there's photos, videos, charts, tables, frames, grids, and audios. So, and there's thousands and thousands of things that you can use. Now, one of the great things about this is that you don't have to worry about students going outside of Canva to get their graphics and worry about copyright. Everything is safe for your students to use within this platform. And you're going to find so many things. So let's say, for instance, I have this kind of, we have this road trip theme going right here. And let's say that I want to find a car to bring on my road trip. Now I can search car just by clicking on this search bar up here. I also can go directly to graphics if I know graphics is what I want to look for. And then I can search for car in my graphics. So when I look for car, I'm going to see lots and lots of different types of cars that I can bring into my presentation. So when I find one that I like, so let's say I want to bring in this one right, well, it's the same color. I'm going to choose this one. I can click on it and then it pops right into my presentation. Now notice when I brought that into my presentation, this bar up on the top changed, and it's actually giving me the opportunity to change the colors on this graphic. So for instance, if I wanted to color these windows a kind of grayish color instead, I can simply change that color box and that changes. Also notice that I am able to click on the edges and go make it bigger, make it smaller. If I wanted to flip this car so it was facing the other direction, I could do that. And another thing that's really fun, this is kind of a next level feature, but I'm going to show you anyway, is I can go up to animate and I can click on create an animation and I can move this car along the road. And it is going to animate that car so it's moving along the road. And so kids have a blast with that feature. It's really easy to do and to be able to create some really neat animations. I can also change transparency on things. I can even lock things in place so that it can't be moved. So lots of options there. I also want to show you in Elements, a really handy trick is that there are some great frames. And what frames are they are actually, I like to think of them as cutouts for pictures. So whatever I put in, so let's say I'm gonna bring in a frame that's a Polaroid looking frame. So I bring this picture in, this frame in, and now I can go into Elements and I can search photos. And let's say I want to search for somewhere that I want to visit. I absolutely love the beach. And so I'm going to find a picture of the beach, and I am going to click on a picture of the beach. And then I am going to bring that picture and hover over my Polaroid, and it drops right in. So now that photo of the beach is dropped into that frame. And so frames and photos, it only works with photos. So you can't drop a graphic into a frame, but any photograph or video you can drop into a frame and it will work. So you can get really creative with those as well. The next feature that I want to show you is text. And text is really, it's pretty self-explanatory, except you have not only heading, subheading, and body of text types, you also have these text combinations that are really fun because it allows us to bring in text into a kind of fun, with fun features and special effects. So let's say that I wanted to bring in this one, this good vibes. And this one is already coming in with kind of a neon effect. So I could change this and write in road trip. And then if I wanted to go in and change the hot pink to a bright orange, I could do that. Maybe I wanted to change this so that they both are the same. I can easily do that as well. And so I can make any changes I want to the text combination, but I can kind of bring in some creative text types and that already come in with those special effects, which is really fun. So what I am going to do is I'm going to bring you all into this presentation. That's one of my favorite things about Canva, is that you can bring in students to collaborate. So again, I created this just as a presentation. And what I've done, and I don't know, Carrie, if you can tell me how many people we have in this session, approximately.
Yeah, you have 35 people.
Perfect. Okay. So we have 35 people. I'm going to just leave a couple extras. So I'm going to make sure that I have a slide for everybody. And what we're going to do is we are going to all jump in here and claim a slide. So you can access this from the bit.ly link, but I'm also, it's called
36 people. Tisha,
okay,
36
I think we have
people.
enough. That's great. No problem. So if you are in that bit.ly, it is called Summer Road Trip Activity, I believe, but I'm also going to copy the link and I'm going to drop it in the chat so you can get to it directly from that link as well. And what I want you to do, and you can see people jumping into this design up here, see all the people splashing it up on the top. And what I want you to do is I'm going to have you claim a slide, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So right now you see that all of my pages are in a tray along the bottom of my screen. If I click on this little bitty carrot right here that's right in the middle, if I click on that, it's going to bring all of my pages to kind of this, I think of it as like Facebook scrolling page where I can see it all in a line. So you're going to notice that when I go to the top of any one of these pages, there is a place to label your page. So it says page 1, and then there's a little cursor that's flashing. I'm going to add my name right there. You're going to see people moving around. So I see Letitia and Andrea and Sherry all on this first page. What I want you to do is go to a page that has not been claimed yet. And you can see it's claimed because see over here, I see that Clementia is on page 2 because I see her on the top right. So scroll down to a page that's not claimed and write your name in that add page title spot. Now I'm going to, while you're kind of finding where to go, I'm going to go into grid view. And now I can see where everybody is at. And I can see who is on, like more than one person's on a slide. So for instance, right now I see that we have a couple people on page 1. I see we have a couple people on page 7. We have a couple people on page 12. So just spread out, find a page that's not claimed, and write your name. I can see people writing their names because it's popping up onto my screen here. That's amazing. And what I love about this grid view is that if you were to bring students into a collaborative design in Canva in your classroom, you can have a a tablet or maybe a Chromebook that's flipped over, and you can be walking around the classroom with this on grid view so that you can see actively who's working, who's not working, and you can move to the students that might need additional support. So I'm going to give you about a minute or so to find your spot. It looks like everybody is pretty much settling in. I see some people are already working. So I am going to give you some instructions on what I want you to do. So when you've landed on a page and you've added your name, there are 3 things that I want you to do. One is I want you to think about what vehicle you're going to be driving on your road trip. And I would like you to add a vehicle graphic to your page. So again, to bring in a graphic, you're going to go over to Elements, and you are going to you'll go directly to graphics, and you will type in whatever vehicle it is that you want to bring on your road trip. As soon as you find a vehicle that you want to bring on your road trip, you are simply going to click on it, and it's going to pop into your page. So that is the first task. So the second task is to go into your Elements and find a photograph of where you want to go in the world. So maybe I want to go to the forest. I'm going to find a picture of the forest, and I'm going to drop it right into my picture. And then the last thing is I want you to think about what song is on repeat on your playlist on this road trip. And I would like you to go into text and maybe find a text combination that you like, or not. You could just add a heading if you want to as well. And I want you to write the name of the song, or type in the name of the song that is on repeat on your playlist. If you have extra time and you want to do the bonus challenge and upload a picture of someone you'd like to bring along on your road trip, you can do that. And if you are ready for that challenge, in about a couple minutes, I will show you how to use the background remover to make it look like somebody is just standing on the road here for your road trip. So I'm going to give everybody about 5, well, we're going to start with 3 minutes, and we'll see how we do, to work on your page. I mean, look again at my grid view and make sure we all are on separate pages. It looks like most people have added their names. So that's fantastic. So again, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to begin with to follow those directions on page 2. So what vehicle are you driving? Add a graphic. Where are you heading? Add a photo and drop it in your frame. And what song is on repeat on your playlist? And add text to your page.
Tisha, will you hover over your little caret that you put down to get the different view?
Yes. So right here, where my little cursor is, there's that little caret. So I can go change it back and forth. Now there's another way to name your page. If I am in this view where my pages are along the bottom, if I click on the top right corner of any page, I can name my page right here on top as well. It's kind of hidden, so it's easier to see when you're in the other view. All right, so I'm going to set the timer here on the bottom of my screen for 3 minutes and let you just play a little bit.
As they're working through, I answered some questions in the chat, mostly about how to access, Tisha, go back in the steps to get their name on a slide. Some people are on a mobile view right now, and I said, it's okay, do what they can, right? They can still see you and follow along.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that this is in your Bitly, and so they'll have access to this after as well.
Absolutely. Yep. They can access it after for sure.
Yeah. I love this grid view.
It's really helpful. I love it too. I used to do kind of collaborative things in Google Slides, and I would use the grid view for that. And I love that I can do that here as well and really see where students are how they're working. And it really helps. And you'll notice if I hover over any of these little circles on the bottom right of a slide, I can see exactly who that is. So that really helps me too. So I don't have to try to figure out whose initials they are. I can just hover and see the entire name.
Yeah. The text is coming up.
What's that?
I see like people are adding their text in, like that life is a
Yes,
highway.
it's fantastic. I love it. And when the time is up, for those of you who want to do the little bonus challenge, I will show you how to remove the background remover. I love that someone wants to bring an airplane on the road trip. That's that's my kind of travel as well. And feel free if you want to add some other things to your page other than what I mentioned, please do that. I'm loving all the cars all the vehicles you're selecting. That's amazing. And I see some people have brought in photographs of cars. So I'm going to show you in just a second here how you can remove the background from those cars as well if they came in as photographs. Okay, so let's say I'm going to bring in a car, whoops, a car that is a photograph. So let's say I bring in this one right here, but I don't want that background in this car. And this is the same if you brought in a picture of someone you want to bring on the trip, same way to do this. When I'm clicked on this photograph, when I go up to the top here and it says edit photo, I click on the very first square that says background remover. And when I click on background remover, it removes the background from that car. And so I can just bring that in really, really easily. Now, let's say you want to bring in some people on your road trip, but your pictures are not in Canva, maybe they're on a device or elsewhere. I can go into uploads and I can search for things that are in my uploads that I want to bring in. So let's say that I want to bring in my family. I want to take my family on this road trip. So I am going to click on my kids here. And again, I'm going to go to edit photo, click on background remover. And now that background has been removed. And now my kids are right there in my picture. So if you all would like to try background remover, either with a photograph in the Canva library or an upload that you want to bring up from somewhere else. Now, just to kind of back up on the upload piece, when I go to uploads, you'll notice that I can either upload files from my computer or I can upload files from any one of these places. So if you have a photo in Google Drive, or if it's connected to your Dropbox, you could, or any of those other places, you could bring from those places as well. And once you upload them in, they are just going to live in your upload library, no matter what design you're in. So they won't just be in this design, they will live in that upload library. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 more minute and give you a chance to try that background remover if you wish.
We had one question, Tisha, come in, but then you answered it right away about uploading uploading a picture. Oh, and Velma, you said, maybe I misunderstood your question. How do I place myself on the slide? Where it says page number at the top of the slide, right by that page number, then you would type your name. So I see number 12 and 6 and 5 and 4 are all free. Velma, if you wanted to take one of those.
Yeah, so you can see here, right by page 12, there's a little blinking cursor. That's where you would go ahead and type your name. Great question. Fantastic. So what I like about doing a collaborative like this is that what I can do when I've given my students a certain amount of time to work on their slides, I can go in to present mode. So I'm going to go to the beginning here. And I can, did you have a question?
Sorry, somebody asked about the background remover being on Pro.
So Canva for Education, because San Antonio is connected to Canva for Education, Pro is what you get. Canva for Education is free for everyone, and you get all of the features of Pro. So as long as you're logged in with your district account, you should be able to access all of that. Nothing has to be paid for in Canva for Education. Everything is free.
And if I'm correct, if you're not in SAISD, but you're a teacher, you can create a teacher account and y'all verify through Canva, correct?
Yes.
So
yes.
every teacher, every educator can have a free Canva for Education account.
Yes. So okay. You go to Canva for Education, and let me just go right now. So everybody within your district should have it. But yeah, anybody not rostered through it can get their free account. So if I go to Canva for Education, right here is where it says teachers get verified. And then as long as you can prove you have a district or email, school district email, you will get verified. So I'm going to go ahead and go to present mode. And you can see now that I can click through all of the different pages that were created. And so what's nice about this is I could give my students all a certain like 15, 30-second runway to be able to talk about what they added to their slide. So you could start off with a real kind of low entry activity such as this, and then you can upload, oh, look at this, that's fancy, I love it. You can increase the cognitive load as your students get used to, I love this, to using Canva and creating in Canva. So this is great. You all did a fantastic job. Look at the animation, so fun. Very, very cool. Awesome. So what we're going to do, that's kind of your basic run through of the basics in the Canva editor. Remember, again, we're going to have a session this afternoon where I'm going to do a real deep dive into the Canva editor where I'll talk a lot about more of the features. But I do want to make sure that you understand how to share. So up in the top right, you're going to see the share button, and you're going to be able to share anything that you create. Either you can either have it just you have access, you can share it with your team, or you can have it accessed by anyone that has the link. And then you can decide if you want them to have view only access, comment access, or edit access. And so once you decide that, you can copy that link, and then you are sharing that access to whoever you select. You can also share designs with people, and as soon as you type in people within your team, their names are going to pop up and you'll be able to share access with them. Also notice that I can download anything that I create as a PDF, as a PowerPoint document, as a MP4 video, a JPEG, a PNG for images, SVG if you're doing 3D printing or need any web design or animations, and GIF. So all of those options are available for download. And then once you download them, then you can print them to your printer. Also notice that when I go down here, I have all sorts of other options too for sharing. And so really the possibilities for sharing is pretty endless in Canva. On the top right, I also can save things to folders directly from here. I can make copies of things that I want to make a copy of. So let's say I make this particular activity, but I want a copy for every single period that I teach. I can make a copy for period 1, period 2, period 3, etc. And I also can go back on version history. And if something was accidentally deleted, I can go back and find it, which is really, really helpful as well.
Tisha, this is your 10 minutes.
Perfect. So with the last 10 minutes, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes on templates. And then I'm going to kind of end with some resources and ways that you can learn more about Canva. So
and we do have 2 questions so far that I'm saving for you.
Okay.
Perfect. So at the end too, we can get to those.
That's perfect. So
Okay.
there are, thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate your moderating. There are over 70,000 education-specific ready-to-use templates in the Canva library, and there are 610,000 plus non-education templates. And so that is really exciting because there really are so many starting points that we don't have to start from scratch. We have a starting point with the templates that have been created. So I'm going to go back to my home screen and I'm going to show you how you can find those templates. There are two ways. One way is that you can search directly in this template library. So let's say that I wanted to search for a comic strip. I simply type in comic strip and it shows me that there are 210 comic strip templates in the Canva library. Now, when I find one that I kind of like the way that it's designed, I can simply star it and decide I want to look at that a little bit closer later, and it's going to store in my starred folders. Or I can decide I want to see this a little bit closer and I can preview it. And I can see when I preview this that this template actually has 6 pages and it includes directions or instructions. It includes a blank template. And then it even includes these illustration sets that I can have students bring in to create their comic strips and the speech balloons. So now if I think, wow, I love this, I'm ready to use it, I can simply click on customize this template and it brings me right into that design so I can make any changes that I want to this template for my students. So that is one way that you are able to search for templates in the Canva library. Also, you're going to notice that the whole visual suite is here. So if I want to look a little closer at just video doc types, I can simply click on videos and it is going to go right into videos for me to take a deeper look at all of the video templates that Canva has for me to use. And then if I want to really isolate my search and search for a specific type, then I can go in here and add a search word so that I can really get specific on what types of video templates that I want Canva to choose for me. So this little search bar in the center is a great way to explore different templates that you might want to use. Now, also notice that there is a template tab, the third icon down on the left-hand sidebar. When I go to templates here, it is actually going to allow me to search or browse by subject area. So it has English, math, science, art, design, social studies. So I can go and look that way. I also am going to be able to search for classroom decor kits. It's going to know what I might like based on what I have created before. It's going to show me things that are new. It's going to show me different groupings of educational graphics. And so I really can find exactly what I'm looking for. It will even allow me to search by name up here on the top. So if I wanted to search for just templates that had to do with summer, I can search by that. Also notice that there is a filter button. So it's going to allow me to filter down and select maybe a style that I'm looking for or a theme. It'll even let me choose things that have animation. It will even isolate things based on grade level. So if I want to look for things just made for primary, I could search grade K2. I could search by subject area and filter that way, and even by color. And so this is a great spot to just explore all of the possibilities and ways that you can use Canva in whatever edu role that you have. And so I am going to encourage you to look through those templates. And after this session, if you would want to go into the collaborative activity that I have here, maybe share a template that you really like and share the view only link. So if I go in and I go into this template and I want to share this with you, I click on share and I click on view only link. When I go back into this collaborative document, I can go ahead and share that link with you. So if I went in here, so
We're at 5 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. So I can share that link. So if you want to go in and find a template that you like, you can go ahead and share those templates with each other. So I'm going to jump back into the presentation, and I am just going to close with questions and leave you with some resources so that you can carry on your Canva for Education learning. We have an amazing community on social media. So if you go to @Canva.edu, you're going to find lots of people sharing out about Canva for Education. You can also follow Canva Love and Canva Tips to be able to find the feeds that are sharing lots and lots of Canva goodness. There's also lots of Canva resources here that you can explore. You can click here, and that you also can explore them on that Learn and Education tab on your home screen. And there also is an amazing teacher course. So if you click on that Start Learning, you'll be able to take that teacher course. And there's over 65,000 people in the educator teachers community on Facebook. So click on that link on the bottom, and you'll also be able to join that community. And this district hub is a wealth of information, lots and lots of resources there as well.